Welcome, everybody. And actually, I should say welcome to Henderson. Henderson, where are you? There they are. Welcome to Bellevue. Welcome to Fairfield. All right, that'll do. All right, and I also want to welcome and thank Capital One and CarMax and our participating sponsor this year, Dominion, for making all of this possible for you guys today, as well as all of our other participating sponsors, including the Science Museum and Channel 8, who we're going to hear a lot more from in a little bit, because Juan. But we've got cool stuff for you today, and I'm now going to read off of this, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I might sound like I don't know how to read. So pardon me, everybody. We've got cool stuff for you at the museum. I'm
going to need those back.
All right. Going to try and keep things moving fast and fun for you here in the Dome. We've got cool guests. We've got a surprise or two ahead. And we're going to kick off, of course, Virginia's Computer Science Education Week here, along with Hour of Code. So you guys are helping to kick this off for the entire state of Virginia, by the way, because there are people all over the state who will be watching this and watching me wearing Juan's old man glasses. So, it's time. This year, our theme is Virginia's hidden figures in computer science. And we have a lot of hidden figures in computer science in Virginia, and we're hoping they won't be so hidden anymore. Has anybody here seen the movie Hidden Figures? Go ahead. Hey! If anybody hasn't seen it, there will be a free viewing of it at the Richmond Public Library this Wednesday, and you are welcome there. It's free, and there's free pizza, so show up. That movie, though, this is really cool. Did you know that that's about Virginia? No. So some of you say no, some of you say yes. That's actually Langley, NASA Langley, down in Hampton. And it's only about an hour or so from Richmond. And while it's not where the rockets blast off from, actually they do blast off from Wallops now, which is also Virginia, by the way. It is where NASA does all of the science that makes those rockets fly. That movie is not just about NASA Langley, though, right? It's also about some amazing women. And who saw it? Those women were why we made it to space, right? Without them, we wouldn't have made it to space. So they are literally the only reason we got there. We have a special message, actually, today from one of those women and from the author of the book, Hidden Figures. I chased their parade float in the Richmond Christmas Parade on Saturday, and I got them to record this very special message for you that we'll see right now.
Hi, I'm Christine Darden, and I worked at NASA for 40 years. I had lots of titles, but I was an aerospace engineer, and I worked in supersonic aerodynamics and did a lot of computer coding while I was there. So happy Computer Science Week to all of you, and keep pushing.
Hi, my name is Margot Lee Shetterly. I am the author of the book Hidden Figures. It was such an exciting experience for me to write the stories of Dr. Darden and the other incredible women who have inspired us and who contributed so much to our country. And with them as role models, you guys will all go far. So happy Computer Science Week.
But they were really excited to hear you guys were doing this and that Virginia was doing what it's doing with computer science. So we're really excited to have you guys here. And I'm now going to embarrassingly turn it over to Juan, because I've just left myself stumbling all over the place. Juan, please come and help me.
No problem. Thank you.
Juan Conde is going to be our MC today. Here's your glasses back.
Thank you.
And I'm going to let him introduce one of our modern hidden figures in computer science.
Absolutely. Thank you. How about a hand for Chris Dovey from Code VA? I think it's awesome. Chris just illustrated something that is really important in any business that you get into when you become an adult, but certainly computer science, and that is coding. Yes, also adaptability. Chris had a problem and figured out a way to solve it, and that really is all computer coding is about, isn't it? Manipulating information and data to do the things that you want, whether it's to play a game, whether it's to move banking records perhaps from one place to another, or in some cases to make a rocket fly. But this is not the sort of stuff, kids, that it takes special people to do. I want you to be very, very sure of that today. That the things that we're asking you to do and the things that we're asking you to think about, you don't have to be an exceptional person to do these things. You just have to be interested and apply yourself the same way you would to anything else. The same way you'd apply yourself to a sport, or the same way you'd apply yourself to an art project, or the same way you'd apply yourself to learning a musical instrument. So if any of this interests you at all, look into it. And this week that we're doing our Computer Science Learning Week here in Virginia is a wonderful way to do it. But I'm not going to tell you about the business, because I'm in the TV business. Wait a minute. Are computers involved in television also? Yes, they most certainly are, more day by day. As a matter of fact, this entire presentation is being streamed live right now at WRIC TV 8 News, where I work. So say hi to my photographer, Dixon, there in the corner. Hey, Dixon! Because Dixon is live streaming you guys right now across the entire Commonwealth. So wave to the people who are watching in schools across Virginia. Hi, guys. That's enough. They hear you. Don't they all wish that they were here with us? I'm sure they do. Okay, cool. It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. And like the lovely lady you just saw a moment ago in the video, she works at NASA, and she is an engineer and also a computer scientist. Please put your hands together and help me welcome Ms. Hope Venus.
Can I get mine?
Yeah, I'm going to give you my phone.
I need the phone.
Here we are. That's a much better light.
Okay. Hi.
Do you need my glasses?
I'm good. Hi, everyone. How are you? Wow, what an amazing facility this is, and an amazing group of students here today. I am so honored to be here to share with you my story and my love of computer programming. So as Juan mentioned, my name is Hope Venus. My last name is the name of a planet, and right before that is the word hope. And so how amazing it is that I work for NASA with that name. And if you don't believe that is true, you can ask my dear friend, my lifelong friend, Rita Saturn. True story. That was one of my jokes, actually. So just to warn you, telling jokes is not one of my personal superpowers. So as we go through this, I'll give you little clues and tips. I'm going to throw in a few cute computer words here and there, and I'll let you know so that you can laugh and we can both go home happy. How's that? So the organization I work for at NASA Langley, actually 3 months ago, just moved into the new facility named after Katherine G. Johnson. She was one of the women featured in the film Hidden Figures that you already heard about, and I don't need to go on and talk about how they were trailblazers and inspirations because you've already heard that. But the important thing I want to share with you today about them is they made a difference. And so now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to pay careful attention to this question. If you knew that you could make a difference, what difference would you choose to make? And how would you go about actually making that difference happen? You see, I have a recipe for you on making a difference. And it's something I learned myself from computer science. You see, you actually do use this stuff after school. It's true. The two primary differences I wanted to make in my life was, one is I wanted to be heard. And the second difference is I wanted to change things for my family moving forward. You see, I wanted to help move us from poverty into prosperity. So let me share with you how computer programming, which is my field of study in computer science, helped me to achieve these two things. And it actually gave me a bit of a voice. Get it? Not funny, I know. I warned you, don't say that. But most importantly, how computer programming principles can actually be applied to your life to help you be successful in achieving your goals. So here's the recipe. It's 4 simple steps. Well, I wouldn't call them simple, but 4 small steps. And they're actually the same steps that you need when you're writing a computer program. So here goes. The very first step is you have to decide first what you want the computer to do. Those are your goals. So remember when I ask you how you want to make a difference? That is exactly what I'm talking about with step number 1. Step number 2, you have to learn. You have to learn about your goals. And when you're writing a computer program, you have to learn the language of the computer so that when you tell it what to do, it understands you. And step number 3, you have to develop a series of instructions to tell the computer what to do. This is the actual computer program, and in life it is your plan, it is your guidebook that you need to follow. And step number 4, and this is the most difficult step, is you actually have to execute your program or execute your plan. And as you're executing, Juan mentioned this, you have to make adjustments along the way. I cannot emphasize how important this actually is. You see, if you're heading down life in the direction of your goals and you miss your exit, you have to make a U-turn and go back. Don't keep heading in the wrong direction. If you come across a speed bump, slow down. If you stall, reboot. Another computer joke. Thank you for laughing. The important point here is do not stop executing your code. Keep moving. As Dory would say, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So futurist and author Joel Barker quoted, "Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world." So let me share with you a little bit about my story. Oh, the picture's up. That's excellent. Technology worked. Awesome. I come from a family of 13 children. I'm actually child number 12. To put this in perspective, if you see the photo on the upper right, that is my mother with some of my brothers and sisters, and there are 5 children missing from that photo. So that gives you an idea of how large my family was. You see, my parents had 4 children in diapers at one time. Does anybody think I might have had a small problem being heard at my house, just a little bit? You see, we ate in 2 shifts, and we formed assembly lines when we loaded the groceries. But most importantly, my number 1 objective was not to cause any trouble. So you see my dilemma. To emphasize this point, when I was 4 years old, me and 2 of my sisters decided we were going to make our voices heard one evening when we hid in a coat closet and lit a candle. And we actually burnt our entire house down. Now, everyone got out safely, so everyone did well, but the house did not survive, and neither did any of our belongings. And actually, we joke about this to this day, the 3 Stooges, who caused this problem. And you can see the picture in the oval there. There we are, still hiding our shame, years later, wearing disguises. Before the fire, we were a low-income family. And let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So in our house, we did not use washcloths. You see, when a towel had too many holes in it or too many frayed edges, we would cut that up and we would use those rags to bathe with. So you can imagine the gasps at my bridal shower when I opened a gift of a beautiful set of washcloths, and I was so excited to see them. And I said, "Yes, rags!" It didn't go over. Did not go over very well. Okay. See, I didn't even realize at that point in time and never called them washcloths until after that. So before the fire, we were low income. After the fire, we were poor. And when I say poor, I mean low income with a healthy dose of brokenness added in. My parents struggled after that to make ends meet. And then a few years later, we went into foster care, all of us. But we did return home in a couple of years. And when we did, through some divine intervention, there was a used Atari computer sitting in our house. See, I like to think that my personal guardian angel brought that Atari computer there. And you see, we hooked that Atari computer up to our old black and white TV in our house. And me, little Hopi, that's what they called me, I learned the language of that computer. And I wrote my very first computer program that day. And the computer program that I wrote was to have my name written in lights on the TV screen and repeated over and 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 over, like I was a movie star. See, that is the moment that I fell in love with computer programming. Talk about making your voice heard. That was it for me. So years later, in 11th grade, when I was in high school, much like I'm doing here today, a NASA computer programmer came to my high school, and she told us about her job, and I thought, that's what I want to do. But believe me when I tell you, I had no idea how to do that. You see, she had a college degree and a successful career. You see, I had no playbook to follow in my family for that, no script to read. My parents, my grandparents, and as far back as I knew, never had more than a high school education. So I had to ask many questions, and this is when the learning came in. I got a part-time job at NASA in their HR department, and I was able to read all the resumes of people that got hired at NASA, so I knew who NASA hired. I got friends at NASA and mentors who helped me along the way, and I developed a series of steps to be successful in achieving this audacious goal for me. Now, the next step was just executing the plan, right? And so you would think that would be simple. See, Will Rogers said the road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. This is true. It took me 11 years to graduate with my bachelor's degree in computer science. Now, I would like to say that the primary reason for that was because I had to work my way through college, but the reality is, when I was in college, I found my weakness. Yes, my personal kryptonite. And it was, are you ready? Dun, 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 physics. I know what you're thinking. She wants to be a NASA computer scientist and she can't pass physics. Oh my gosh, it was not a good spot to be in. I actually dropped out of physics so many times that I lost count. In fact, when I read the website for this event and it had me listed as a NASA scientist, I immediately thought, when I get back to the office, I need to send an apology letter to the real NASA scientist. I didn't give up, and eventually I did pass all of my science classes, my physics classes. Winston Churchill said success is the ability to go from failure to failure without a lack of enthusiasm. I've now been a NASA employee for 20 years. I started at the lowest grade possible at NASA, and now I am blessed to lead an entire team of computer programmers and IT professionals. So in closing, I want to share with you, I've told you some difficult times that my family had, and now let me tell you of a wonderful inheritance that was passed down to me. You see, my parents taught us faith. And because of that strong faith, I've actually witnessed real miracles in my life. And secondly, they taught us to love and care for others. You see, if my father saw someone who was down on their luck, we would find them sitting at our dinner table for a hot meal that evening, or even sleeping in our living room floor, because trust me, there was no other place in that crowded house for them to sleep. So remember, when you're heading in the direction of your dreams, there is someone who loves you and who cares for you. And never forget to be compassionate and kind to others along the way. And I leave you with this. Two of the proudest moments of my life were when our two sons graduated from high school and went directly into college. Jimmy entered James Madison University in 2016, and Braden, Virginia Tech, 4 months ago. I actually like to think that I had something to do with that I made a difference, that because I was intentional about achieving my goals, and because I wrote my program and I executed it and I never gave up, that they did not have to start with a blank computer screen. Never give up on your dreams, and you will change the world for the better, and that is no joke. Thank you all.
First of all, from now on, I'm going to call you Hopi. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, what an inspirational talk. Give it up. Hope Venus. You know, it's interesting. I told you guys a moment ago that you did not need to be a special person to do these jobs, to be a computer scientist, to be a coder. And I'm not saying that you're not special, Hope, but what I am saying is that no matter what circumstances you come from, you can do what you want if you put your mind to it, and if you have a plan, and if you treat failure like a bump in the road and not something that stops you completely. We have a number of people, not a number, a few people who are going to tell you other stories about their careers and how they got into this business and what it means for them and what it can mean for you. And to introduce our next speaker, it's my pleasure to introduce someone from one of our corporate sponsors today. Who knows what a corporate sponsor is? Nobody. Good. Don't raise your hand. Nobody knows what a corporate sponsor is. That's why we got to teach you guys a whole bunch of stuff today. So the way this event is organized is Code VA is like a nonprofit. So as I like to call them, a couple of really cool do-gooders who have a good idea and they need money to get their act together. So what they do is they go to local businesses or corporate sponsors, right, and ask for money and support to help achieve their mission. Again, much in the same way that Hope explained, these guys have a fantastic idea of something they can do that's going to make our community better, that's going to make them feel good about what they get up and do every day, and they need help. So that instead of finding a barrier, they find a way through. So corporate sponsors really do a lot in our community to help local organizations who are trying to make things better for us. So we all know what corporate sponsors are right now? Yeah. Okay, good. Our corporate sponsor who's up next is from CarMax. CarMax, that's right, based right here in Richmond. Look at that. A fantastic introduction already. Keep your hands clapping, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Matt Linderman. In the way of introduction, I'll also say that Mr. Linderman is a computer scientist also. Anything you need? You good?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Juan. Good morning, students. Good morning. I want to try that just one more time. Good morning, students. Good morning. Great, thank you. So I'm extremely excited to be here, tremendously excited to see all of you here. So just for context, I have 3 children myself. They are ages 16, 13, and 3. So I get to watch them embrace technology and follow their journey of learning technology and just see how important it is, given that technology is really involved in every aspect of what we do. So for that reason, I'm even more excited to be here helping kick the day off. I think the future is only going to become more and more digital, more and more technology focused. And so it's so critically important that we're empowering all of you as students, all of your teachers, and all of the leaders around our school system, such as myself, where we're constantly looking for new talent and new folks to help us get where we need to get in this new digital world. So what's really exciting is I hope that each and every one of you realize that you will absolutely be able to play a key role in that. I like to tell folks, even now, my children are constantly educating me on various aspects of technology because it's changing so fast that at any point in time, each of you really has the opportunity to play a role in the future. So I hope you see that and can embrace that. And so today, we've got millions of other students joining us, if you will, around the country as we think about Hour of Code. So I think it's very exciting that this is really just the beginning. And I just want all of you to think about the possibilities that come along with that and what you can be in this transformation. So I'm very proud, and we're very proud that our state is setting the pace for computer education. And so with that, I have the pleasure of introducing our Secretary of Education of Virginia under Governor Terry McAuliffe, Dr. Dietra Trent, who is really helping to make all of this possible. So with that, we're very thankful for her dedication to Virginia schools, Virginia's education, and teachers. And with that, please join me in welcoming Dr. Trent to the stage.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks so much to CarMax and to all of our corporate sponsors. We certainly could not be here without you, and we appreciate all that you do to encourage our students each and every day to be more involved in computer science. Good morning, students. Where's Bellevue? Where's Bellevue? Where's Henderson? Is Fairfield in the house? Fairfield is definitely in the house. It is so exciting to be back here with you this year. And I just want to say happy Computer Science Week, not only to you, but to the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. All across Virginia, schools are participating in a variety of activities to inspire students to further study computer science. Before I go on, I just want to say a bit about Hope and just thank her for her inspirational story. I don't know how much of you really understand the importance and what she had to do to get to where she is. And so I hope you can appreciate it, and I hope you can really appreciate her message not to ever give up, and that you can always make a difference. And that's what we're all about. That's what this governor is about. That's what the next governor is about. We're about making a difference in the lives of you. So I hope you guys really, really take that to heart and really understand that. We all know, as everybody has said, how important computer science is to our everyday lives. Computers are now controlling and empowering just about every aspect of our lives. Chris talked about music. He talked about the arts. Juan talked about the media. It is controlling every aspect of our lives. And that's why it's so important for us to prepare you, Virginia students, with the skills that you need to get the jobs and to be successful in this area across Virginia. Last year, the governor signed legislation directing the State Board of Education to incorporate computer science, computational thinking, and computer coding into standards of learning curriculum. By doing so, our schools are preparing you not only for the jobs of today, but they're also preparing you for jobs that are yet to come. So you're getting prepared for jobs that are not even in existence today. And just last week, the board took final action on those. And in conclusion, I just want to thank Chris Dovey. I want to thank Code Virginia for their diligence in making computer science a priority for Virginia. And again, I want to thank all of our corporate sponsors. I know the Virginia Lottery, who's been an amazing partner with our education system across Virginia. They put gazillions of dollars in our education system across Virginia every year. I want to thank NASA. NASA has been a huge partner. They do amazing things with us throughout the year and in our schools. They are very involved in our standards of learning, which I'm sure you all know that we reduced the standards of learning by 5 this year. I hope you guys appreciate that. We're looking forward to doing even further with that. And then just CarMax and everybody else who's here. I don't want to start all of these people here. I just want to thank you. Thank you, thank you. You guys have an amazing day. It's exciting, and I just appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks again.
Thank you, Secretary Trent. Lovely words, lovely words. You know, it's funny, you never know who's going to change your life, who you're going to run into, how things are going to evolve for you. I don't know when we met, Madam Secretary, but it was a long time ago. But I can assure you that when I first met her, I didn't imagine that my friend Dietra would become the Secretary of Education.
Nor did I.
Sometimes crazy things happen if you put yourself in their way. We have another corporate sponsor to recognize this morning, and we're very, very happy to have them with us as well. They're one of the biggest employers here in the Richmond area. If you go by any one of their centers, certainly their HQ here in town, you know that these people are serious in getting things done. It's my pleasure to introduce, from Capital One, give him a hand, Mr. Chris Peterson. You're welcome. Tell them what you do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chris Peterson. I'm the Vice President of Data Science at Capital One, and it is a pleasure for me to be here today. I also sit on the Board of Directors of Code VA. And I just have to say a couple of things really quickly. When I first got into computers, what I want you to imagine is I was in elementary school, and there was a classroom that had about 25 computers in them that they weren't really computers the way you think about them today. There was a keyboard, and then there was like this big thing that looks like an old TV screen Okay, and that had the special quality of having 2 colors that it displayed. The first color was black. And then the second color was the color for those of you from Bellevue. You guys have stickers on that are kind of green, right? There was the other color that showed up on this computer screen was a blinking green light. And that's all it did. And we would program those computers, but in the side room, like, so you saw there was the keyboards and like little mini television screens, and in the room over here that was next to it, there was all kinds of computer like equipment and wires and stuff which were making the green light blink. And so what we did was we learned how to program it to make the computer do a little bit more than blink, but not a whole lot more than what Hope talked about her Atari computer, where she mentioned that her name would show up over and over and over and over again. Well, that's kind of how we did the programming. I want you to think about that and compare it to the world that you live in where today. So I'm holding up a cell phone right now. Many of you have those, or many of your parents probably have those. There is more computing power and more storage in this here than in all of the computers that were in my room in elementary school growing up. You live in a tremendous time. This is an exciting time to be alive. Technology is transforming the way that we work in all kinds of ways. My colleague from CarMax was just up here speaking. Did you know that you can buy a car from your phone now? Yeah. You can just go look it up on your phone, click which car you want. If you want a loan, you can come to Capital One, figure out how to finance it. Okay, if you want to go and deposit a check, so if you have a bank account, you don't even need to go into the bank anymore. I could take a picture of the check, and the money will show up in my account. So banking, where in the field that I work, is not about dollars inside of a vault anymore. It's about the bits that sit on computers in the back end. And we need lots of computer scientists. I employ, like I said, I'm a data scientist at Capital One, and I employ dozens of people on my team that have computer science backgrounds or other programming abilities, and we need more of them. We need absolutely a lot more of them. So it's my privilege to be part of Capital One. A few years ago, we recognized that the technology was changing the landscape so dramatically, and that all businesses would be affected by this, that we wanted to get a little bit more involved in the community. So we committed to supplying about $150 million of grants and other incentives over 3 or 5 years to a variety of projects, including Code VA, where I sit on the board of directors, where we are helping train some teachers in how to teach computer science. In addition, we are also working with the YMCA, excuse me, as well as our local school districts to provide computer training and programming access for students and teachers alike. But without further ado, what I'd like to do now is introduce Mrs. Pamela Northam. Now, she is an accomplished educator. She was a high school biology teacher. She was a nationally award-winning elementary school teacher of science. She is also an accomplished environmentalist, where she has been helping to save and preserve the Lindhaven River. She's a proud mother of 2. Her son, Wes, is a neurosurgery resident in North Carolina. Do you know what neurosurgery means? He's a brain doctor. He's studying to be a brain doctor. And her daughter, Aubrey, is a web developer here at Richmond's own MobileX. Oh, and by the way, her husband was recently elected as our next Virginia governor. Please welcome Pamela Northam to the stage.
Good morning. Good morning. So are you all excited about being out of school today? Yes. And excited about having some fun. Are you ready to have some fun? Yeah. Me too. So I want you to do 2 things today. And first I want to start out by very carefully, without disturbing anyone around you, I want you to stand up where you are. Just stand up. Let's get up for a little minute. I don't know about you, but it's good to stand up for a minute, right? Give yourself a little stretch, but you don't have to touch your friends. Okay, great job. Everybody sit back down. Just wanted you to move around a little bit. Thank you. I want to thank Chris Dovey and Code Virginia for the innovative and exciting work that they're doing to advance computer science education in Virginia. And you know what? I am so proud of him because he did not give up. Let's give him a hand for that. Just like Miss Hope said, and that's an important part of computer science, is problem solving. And that's why a lot of us like it. right? It's a challenge, it's a puzzle, it's a mystery, and that's what makes it really fun. So we appreciate him and Ms. Hope never giving up. I'm so excited to be here today to help kick off Computer Science Education Week. And you know what? I also get to do a really fun job. I'm a Science Museum of Virginia trustee. I get to help take care of this great place. And I would like to thank all of you for coming here today to celebrate. My job, as was just said, was a retired science educator. I'm still teaching a little bit, but often I would start out the year with an exercise. And this is the second thing I want you to help me do today. You can close your eyes if you want. You don't have to. No snoring. But I want you to picture in your head what a scientist looks like. Think about that for a minute. You don't have to say anything out loud. Just think for a minute what a scientist looks like. Okay, now I want you to raise your hand if you thought of someone who looked like an older man with one of those wild and crazy white hairdos, kind of Einstein style. Anybody think of that? Okay, right. Well, most of my students would do the same thing when I asked them to draw a scientist. You can put your hands down now. But you know what? I knew I did my job right if at the end of the year I would ask them to do that drawing again. And this time, they drew someone who looked like themselves, someone who was doing something really cool in science, and someone who looked just like them, reflecting all their beautiful diversity. And the work we do here in the Science Museum and this week in computer education is about inspiration. It's about sparking wonder and igniting curiosity and joy and helping all children to see the potential in themselves. We welcome those of you who've come today for the first time to the Science Museum. Some of you are already good friends and may participate in some of the fun things we have to do here, like fruitcake science. Yeah. And New Year's Eve after the holidays. Don't miss that one either. Maybe some of you have come here to hang out in the mix, where you can experiment, create, and animate, or just hang out with your friends. And we hope that those of you joining us online will come and visit us soon too. Maybe you're here as a STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, professional, or a computer science person. Not only are you an advocate for science, but also you really want to tell everybody about that important career choice and for the difference that science makes in our lives and can make in our lives. My husband, the governor-elect, and I have worked for a long time to promote STEM and computer science education because we know how instrumental it is to get you ready for the jobs of the future, you 21st century digital natives, you, as well as tackling some of the world's most serious problems that we face: healthcare, energy, climate change, cybersecurity. Perhaps you're a student today thinking about what you want to do when you grow up. I hope today you will see how many fun and exciting opportunities there are in computer science. My daughter, as was said earlier, and her friends from Women Who Code asked me to be sure and tell you that there are so many exciting jobs for girls, and we need young women just like you. They have an office right down the street here where they're web developers, and they make really cool websites and interesting apps. And I got to tell you, they have a pool table and a movie theater in the basement. Just saying, right? I was going to ask if you'd seen the movie The Hidden Figures, but I already heard that you did. It's a great story about women from right here in Virginia who were called human computers. And when they began their early computer work for NASA, those computers were the size of rooms, and now we can carry them in our pockets, right? It's amazing. I wonder, you know, a lot of people will come up to me and say, hey, how come I didn't know this story about Katherine Johnson and those other amazing African-American women who played such an important role in that historic flight 55 years ago? How come I didn't know about that? Well, you know what? This morning, I was so excited to help break ground on the Women's Monument in the Capitol Square. This first of its kind monument will celebrate the voices and stories of 400 years of Virginia women just like them, who dared greatly to use their creativity and their ingenuity, their courage and their true grit to make this Commonwealth and this world a better place, to dream big and to do things never done before. We are all here today, all of us, and for the rest of the Computer Week, because we believe in you, all the people you've heard up here. So I challenge you today to try out all the fun and interesting activities, to find your own passion, and go out there and change the world. Now, I heard a rumor that we're going to get a little loopy up in here today, and I know I'm going to meet an outstanding teacher, Miss Demetria Richardson. Where are you, Miss Richardson? Here she comes. I know she's going to help me do this. I'm going to be brave.
How are you?
Great, thanks. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I'm a teacher at Bellevue Elementary. And at Bellevue Elementary, one of our favorite computer science vocabulary words is loop. Can anyone tell me what a loop is? A loop is like a circle.
Yeah,
and what
sure.
else? Yes. Right, it's a colorful block that we use to code. And when we loop, we do things what? Over and over again. So, for those of you who don't know what getting loopy is, if you look in your brochure, there is a diagram of the dance steps. Now, when we get loopy, we like to dance because at Bellevue, we like to move, you know. Gotta stay active, gotta stay active. So we have a favorite song at Bellevue that we do this to. And it's one of our favorite songs. It's called Happy by Pharrell.
Yay!
Everybody know that song? Yeah. It's one of our favorite songs at Bellevue. So, if you look at it, I'm gonna just walk you through the steps and then I'm gonna get you guys up and we're gonna get active and we're gonna get loopy together, okay?
Yay.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Good. All right. So if you look at your brochure, the first thing we're going to do, just give me 1 minute. I like to prep my kids. All right? So what are we going to do? We're going to clap 3 times. So we're going to clap, 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 behind the head, waist, behind the head, waist, clap, 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 left, right, clap, clap, clap. Then we're going to do that 3 times, and that creates our what?
Loop.
Our loop. And when we're finished at the end, we like to give a nice big belly laugh. So can you practice your belly laughs for me? Go. Does that sound like we're ready for the holidays already? I think we are. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
So can everyone get up out of their seats? Are you ready?
Ready.
Now I think I'm ready for our music. Ready?
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Behind the head, waist. Behind the head, waist. Clap, clap, clap. Left, right, right. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Behind the head, waist. Behind the head, waist. Clap, clap, clap. Left, right. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Behind the head, waist. Behind the head, waist. Clap, clap, clap. Left, right. Clap, clap, clap. Ho, ho, ho. You guys did great. Good job. Give yourself a hand. Good job.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's great. Woo! Thank you, Miss Richardson. Can you? Yeah, Miss Richardson. We can see why she is the outstanding computer science teacher. I wish I'd had a class with Miss Richardson. What fun. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, the senior senator from Virginia, vice chair on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, someone very special who, by the way, knows his way around technology as an early investor in the cell phone industry and helped to develop the technology we use today. He has also been learning quite a lot about the importance of cybersecurity lately. Please welcome Senator Mark Warner.
Hi, I'm Senator Mark Warner. I'm excited to join Code Virginia to celebrate Computer Science Education Week. Virginia is a hub of the computer science industry, with almost 1 out of every 10 Virginians working in a technology field. And we have a Commonwealth with a proud legacy of helping to shape the world through STEM education. For example, women of color like Katherine Johnson at NASA Langley showed that diversity in these fields can actually be a strength. Now we need you to help us build on that progress. Despite our proud tradition, our colleges and universities produce fewer than 2,000 computer science graduates annually. To any students in this audience today, take this week as an opportunity to learn more about computer science and what it has to offer. Computer science dictates almost every aspect of how our modern world works. If you want to build the next great startup company, or serve our country in the armed forces, or design skyscrapers, there's an opportunity for you through computer science. So keep an open mind. You might be inspired to change the way our world works. I'm especially proud that computer science is now part of our core curriculum for our public schools here in Virginia. So I want to thank all of the teachers here today for their tireless work as mentors for these students. Now, when I talk to leaders of other states or CEOs of major businesses looking to move to our state, I can confidently tell them that Virginia will continue to be a major player in the world of computer science. So keep up the good work. I look forward to seeing what the future brings with your help. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you, Senator Warner, for that inspiring message. That's how important this is, guys. You have the Secretary of Education here, corporate sponsors, our senator, serious business. But we're going to have to ask our friends from Bellevue to leave.
Just the fifth graders.
Just the fifth graders. Time for you. You're going to go fruitcaking with Governor McAuliffe. So it's not entirely bad. So Bellevue fifth graders, please stand. You guys here? Just the fifth graders. And we're going to ask you guys to, with your teacher's direction, to come on behind us this way and exit to that door. Thanks for getting loopy with us. I'm not sure that any other elementary school fifth graders in the Commonwealth have as exciting a day as you guys do. A little computer science, a little fruitcaking with the governor. You guys are kind of special. Thanks for being with us today. I love your green stickers. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. I know, right? It's so hard being important and wanted everywhere. Dragged from event to event. Oh, my goodness. You guys are wonderfully well behaved. Nice to have you here today. Let's say goodbye to our friends from Bellevue. Bye. Thanks for coming. See ya. We're going to bring Chris Dovey from Code VA back to the stage to bring on our next speaker. Chris?
Hello, everybody, again. I'm here to introduce one of my former teachers, Paula Otto. She is the director of the Virginia Lottery. The Virginia Lottery does a lot for education in this state. We're really lucky that I guess we have them to help to underwrite a lot of what you guys do in schools, including computer science. And they've done something very special for the state. They've helped us to put together some really neat marketing materials. Earlier this year, anybody here see all the Virginia is for Computer Science Lovers stuff that some of our teachers are wearing and some of our volunteers today are wearing? Oh yeah, and that. So that stuff is a partnership that we now have with the Virginia Tourism Commission. And the Tourism Commission is really excited about the idea of tech tourism. And so the Virginia Lottery has helped us to put together a video that promotes not only technology tourism, but technology education, computer science education, and all the amazing, frankly, hidden figures in computer science that exist in Virginia. So Paula, please, happy to have you here today to tell us a little bit about this.
Thank you, students and teachers and parents. We are very excited to be here to help kick off Computer Science Education Week. I hope all of you know that the Virginia Lottery is game for education. All the money that the lottery raises go to support K through 12 education, from your school breakfast to textbooks to all kinds of things that support your teachers. In fact, every day in Virginia, the Virginia Lottery raises $1.5 million for K through 12 education. That's a lot of money. Thank you. And we love numbers at the Virginia Lottery, and we love computer scientists. We have several dozen men and women at the Virginia Lottery who help run our computer system that sells the tickets, that makes the money to support public education. So we love to be here as a part of Computer Science Education Week. And Code VA asked if some of our talented videographers and video editors would help create a video that you're about to watch to shout from the mountaintops and from the ocean that this is the digital dominion. I hope you enjoy the video.
Welcome to Virginia, the digital dominion. Virginians have always been explorers, revolutionaries, innovators, and our next generation continues to explore and innovate, solving human problems using the power of computer science. Come take a trip with us around the Commonwealth, explore and learn about Virginia's amazing contributions that drive our future. In Hampton Roads and the Eastern Shore, our nation's first explorers arrived more than 400 years ago. At NASA's Langley Research Center, with the help of a few hidden figures, helped launch our space program. And today, computer science helps drive the next innovations in aerospace at Langley and at Wallops Island Flight Facility. The internet began for most Americans with Northern Virginia-based AOL. Today, the region is home to Google, Amazon Cloud Services, Oracle, Micron, and many other high-tech companies that make it the bullseye of the internet. How does the driverless car cross the road? At Virginia Tech, cyber explorers are navigating smart roads to help answer that question. Virginia is for unmanned systems. In Southwest Virginia, coal and agriculture are an integral part of the region. Computer science now drives our combines. Computer science meets climate science and biology, sowing the seeds of the future of farming. Our dynamic digital dominion truly is the crossroads of computer science. And in 2016, Virginia's lawmakers came to Richmond and together recognized that our state, with its highest density of computer science jobs in the country, is the nation's backbone for future innovation. Virginia became the first state to mandate computer science as a core subject for all children, kindergarten to graduation. In our digital dominion, visitors come to see the achievements of yesterday and today. Tomorrow's explorers, discoverers, innovators, and creators will have the tools and know-how to lead Virginia into our next 400 years. Computer science across this great Commonwealth is computer science for all.
I sprained my ankle. I'm a little gimpy. It's okay. That ends the formal part of our program today. I'd like you to give all of our speakers and the presenters today a big hand for spending their time with us this morning. On behalf of all of our speakers and our sponsors from Capital One and CarMax, the Virginia Lottery, Secretary of Education. Of course, we're very, very happy to have our incoming First Lady, Ms. Pam Northam here. Thank you guys for your attention today. On behalf of everybody at WRIC TV8 and Dixon and my crew for live streaming this, thank you guys. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day and leave here inspired and leave here curious. And I want you to leave here with your eyes closed and you thinking of yourself in that lab jacket, maybe without the crazy Einstein hair, but doing a computer science job and making a good life for yourself and for your family. Maggie, you want to come tell the folks, the kids where they have to go now? This is Maggie Smith from Code VA. Give her a hand.
Thank you guys so much for sitting and enjoying all of this. I just want to let you know what happens now. So we are going to leave the dome and we're going to go back out where you first came in into the rotunda. And Henderson, you guys are up there. You guys are going to hang out in the rotunda.